Yeah, Basement League Plus. Cobb and Dash on the mic, bringing heat every line. CT still chasing his very first ring. 40 years deep, still hasn't won a thing. Alex in the playoffs, can't get past the gate. Matt's got the trophies, his legacy's great. Dave and Matt voting down all the new rules. Dash runs the league like a king with no tools. Cobb to back, L's wearing that crown. New guys just learning, trying not to drown. Millie remote drafting from who knows where. CB, Yago, Taya, Jello J, bring flair. Stu with 2 titles, still hungry for more. But watch out, the Tomato King's at the door. Dash calls the shots, runs it like a boss. The metal pelting's coming, gonna sting and toss. Basement boys forever, this league's our pride. Cobb and Dash, take you on a fantasy ride. Hey, it's just a Cobb and Dash show, better check your stats. Previewing the matchups, breaking down the facts. From draft day drama to those title dreams. We the kings of the basement league, we keep it alive. Cobb and Dash, Cobb and Dash,
And welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Cobb and Dash Show. It's your Week 8 preview. I'm Marcus Dash, and right there is my guy, our co-host, our co-commish, Ryan Cobb. Cobb, how are you doing, buddy? In the thick of things, in the playoffs up there. Very high up there, man. I can't see you.
Yeah, trying to. I mean, I think I'm kind of hiding in between a lot of the commotion going on with my points for being one of the lowest in the league. So I've skated by, and that's why I made some moves trying to get some staying power in these playoffs because anything goes in playoffs. So.
I mean, hey, man, you made some moves. I'm surprised ZB made that move. I heard ZB was being very stingy with Zay Flowers over the last few weeks from one specific owner. But yeah, I'm surprised he was able to get a deal done with you. ZB's one of those. I wouldn't say stingy guy, but it's kind of stingy. I think he's seen a lot of people dog people in the league, and I think people are scared. What was that?
Well, Puff, man.
Oh, I thought it was a Pirate's booty when you threw that in there. Yeah, no, ZB's one of those guys. I think he's scared to pull a trigger on a trade because he's scared to get dogged. And I think a lot of people are gun shy with trades, not because they don't want to do a trade, they just don't want to get dogged in the group chat. Which is, come on, man, don't not do a trade because you're gonna get dogged for it.
Yeah, no, it's funny because ZB and I almost had a deal for Zay a few weeks ago. And I won't give the specifics, but I think it's a trade that I would have preferred. Or it would have, I don't know. The jury's still out. I think it would have benefited me more just knowing what we know now with a few people. But yeah, it was a pretty quick and easy discussion yesterday. I just threw out who I was interested in, and we talked real quick and got it done. So
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Who, you approached him or he approached you?
I approached him for this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
Okay, so we're gonna go to our Week 7 highlight before we get to the full rundown of the games this week. Week 7 highlight. And I'll begin with this one. My Week 7 highlight here. Very interesting week. Obviously, my comeback on Monday night was great after Yags called the win Monday afternoon with you and me in a group chat. But my highlight here is ZT again. It's just, man, I've never seen a 1 seed sneak by like the way he has. It's unreal. I mean, he should have lost that game. CJ Stroud throwing a bomb, or not a bomb, throwing that last bullshit heave to get in the end zone. He should have lost the game. ZB should have won that game. Seattle doing nothing in the second half of that game was pathetic. I mean, I literally stayed up. Yeah, I needed Myers to score a few points, but I literally stayed up to watch that rest of that game because I wanted ZT to lose so badly with his horrible quarterback situation. And so, yeah, that was my big takeaway was ZT is still a pretender in my book because you can't win games with quarterbacks getting 15s. I mean, yeah, he did this week, but it's just not sustainable. And Lamar's coming back this week, but who knows? Guy's been off for a few weeks, so he might be kind of we'll see. And also, too, I just think the fact that this whole league's so close with each other. I mean, our 1 and 2 seeds are 5 and 2. I mean, everyone's within a game or two of each other still, and it's crazy because from 1 to I think 10 or 11, it's all within a game. It's all within 2 games of each other, and that's usually by this point. There's a big drop off from the 11-12 spot to the 1 spot, and it's only 2 games. So, man, if you go on a 2 or 3 game skid from here, Yikes. So ZT barely winning is my thing there. Pretender.
Yeah, it's a good one. I think a lot of teams are not as afraid of ZT as they initially might have been. I think a lot of it has to do with Lamar. So does he get him back now? For ZT's sake, hopefully. I think ZT, there's 2 moves that he made this week that are just kind of prime, just highlight of ZT, just kind of still being the same owner. The first is coming to the group chat to just brag about trade talks that he's having instead of actually making trades. I don't really see anyone else doing that. It's just, make trades and then talk about it. I know the point there was just to kind of take a jab at you. And then second was picking up a quarterback that I think would have been a good fill-in for him if Lamar misses, because it's still not guaranteed that he's playing this week, especially because I think they play on Thursday next week. He spent 12 fab on Aaron Rodgers and then dropped him, and we were just checking before the show. Tasia got in there and scooped him up. Like, that was a
great move.
It was a great move on Taja's part. ZT within the same day dropping guy on that he spent fab on. I don't know if we've seen that before, but
never.
Yeah. Sorry, I guess I was expanding on your takeaway on week 7, but I had a similar one. My main one, I was thinking about going Hotch kind of being back. He's 3rd seed, but I think my biggest one, you kind of hinted at it, was the Yags. Not quite being back. I'm playing against him this week, so I'm not trying to give him too much bulletin board material, but it's a guy that didn't learn anything from last year. Called his shot big time this week, saying he was back, celebrating the stackers being back, the Staggers.
There you go.
And
he's catching on.
He choked. And now he's still sitting 11. That was a big game for the Tomato King too, because if you had lost that, you'd be neck and neck with Stu.
Mm-hmm.
Stu,
don't I know
that.
it?
Yeah, and because I think Stu won this past week, had a huge performance, so that was close. And now Yags is right next to him. So Yags, you gotta get out of your own way, man. You can't keep jinxing yourself like this.
I was thinking about the tie that Yagler and Stu had, because we're doing Tomato King throws based on wins. So a tie, you don't get a win for that. You don't get a tomato for that.
Oh, true. No
That's one less tomato you get to throw.
Wow.
Well, actually, holy shit! What the hell? What is this? What the hell's that? Who goes there?
Week 7 highlight is the lowest scoring matchup of the week. That's disrespectful to some of the other owners we have in here. And just to clear things up, we brought in Aaron. We kicked the tires. We wanted to make sure we had, our options laid out. We've seen Lamar practice this week. He's looked okay. We don't want to push him. He's a franchise guy. You know what I mean? And
he kicked the tires while the car was still parking, buddy.
We kick the tires. And sometimes you got to make. Sometimes you have to spend some money. Okay, we saw your co-host over here spend $91 on a tight end who hasn't broken 15 points yet this season. But sometimes you gotta spend some money. We did, but sunk costs are sunk costs. We also saw Marcus is going to start this week, and we're going to go with that. He has rushing upside. He has 100 rushing yards on the season, and we're ready. We're ready. We got a really tough matchup this week. With you guys would probably say the best team in the league. You guys would probably put me around 8th. But, battle for first place, we got to be ready. And we want the rushing upside that Marcus provides. And, it's good stuff.
You keep saying that Marcus provides. Who's Marcus?
Marcus Mariota.
You're starting him this week?
Might have to. We'll see.
Oh, my God.
Maybe.
That's really key.
But here's the nice thing is I'm 2-1 without Lamar. 2-1,
pretty good.
I think.
Are you 2-1?
It's pretty good. Pretty sure I'm 2-1.
Let's check the stats on that.
Most points for in the league.
Second most. Second most points. Second most points for.
No, you're not, because remember I said you went on a 2-game skid. Was that including Lamar?
Well, Lamar got hurt in that game. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Thankfully, all my players are done facing the Chiefs defense this season. Well, unless Marcus Mariota starts, all my players are done facing the Chiefs D. I'm tired of the Chiefs D.
That could be key.
Wow, it's good to be here. It's good to be here.
It's good to have you.
I'm here.
I mean, we kind of want to give you a platform to. You've obviously heard a lot on the last 3 weeks of the Cobb and Dash show. You heard some right as you were joining as a surprise guest. The show can't get enough of you. What do you got to say, man?
It's exciting. It's exciting. We've done a lot of shit talking behind the scenes here. Now we're face to face. It's a tight year, man. I really respect the moves you've been making, Cobb. You're going for it, and I look at this roster now. I'm a little bit scared of it. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little bit tough. I'm not too scared of Dash's roster here, but I'm never gonna count him out. For all the talking he does, he sticks around. He doesn't go anywhere. I don't think he's doing much this season, but he sticks around. He's pulled 2 wins out of his ass so far, and it's kind of impressive. The fact, he's really a 1-win roster, and he's got multiple victories, and I'm pretty impressed by that. So it's good to be here.
Well, I respect you for giving me some clout there on my roster, even though I don't think it deserves much. But ZT, you kind of mentioned the whole Rodgers thing, and I'm getting a text from one of our owners right now saying, "Why would he spend $12 on a guy he dropped a day later?" Why? I mean, that's kind of. I mean, you dog me for spending all that money on Fannin, but you just spent $12 on a guy you dropped a day later. So, at least Fannin's gonna be on my roster for the rest of the season.
Well, you guys kind of hinted at it. It's a league that really just stashes quarterbacks, and outside of Rodgers on the wire, I don't even think a single day one starter was available. Maybe Cam Ward, but I'm not starting the lowest scoring offense in the league. I wanted to make sure I got him. In hindsight, is a bit of an overpay, but I wanted to make sure I had him available. And then Jaden Daniels' health was up in the air, and I thought maybe let's put in a couple bucks on Marcus Mariota to make sure that I had all my bases covered. If I was playing a different team this week, probably wouldn't be so aggressive on the wire. But Alex he's itching for it. You know what I mean? And with the Lions, their scheduled week off, couldn't really take any chances. But then I saw that Daniels was out. Let's go ahead and just use Marcus Mariota and use that roster spot with Rodgers for a bench stash, because honestly, it's been a pretty impressive. I think the way that everyone's used the waiver wire this year has been pretty impressive. There really isn't a guy who's like an under the radar guy who's available. No. And I wanted to make sure that I used that last bench spot to stash a good player. If I don't plan on using Aaron this week, he's best served somewhere else.
That's fair. So obviously we're gonna do breakdowns of your matchup. We kind of said that your matchup with Alex is probably the matchup of the week. ZT versus Alex, the 1 versus 2 seed. Big game, both you guys, and you guys are probably the most underwhelming owners we've ever had in this league. One guy's never won a playoff game before, and another guy who's been the longest running person in the league to not win a championship in the keeper league. And I emphasize keeper league because you like to bring up one talking point all the time, which is unnecessary. Because you're talking about a redraft league that was 2 years before we started the keeper league, but nonetheless, this matchup with Alex this week. You mentioned you don't have the Lions, and Lions. Your Lions duo is probably the key to your success, because Gibbs is unreal and so is St. Brown, 2 guys who have high floors and also high ceilings as well. So what is your thoughts going into this game? Do you want to put anything on the line here? Because I think Alex thinks he has the best team in the league. And it's kind of a slap in the face to you, since you've been, kind of dominating this entire league this year. Alex isn't afraid to dog you, so let's hear some dogging.
Well, we like to treat every owner with respect for the most part. But Alex goes into this week with some question marks, right? Is Nico Collins healthy, for example? His number 1 wide receiver is on an offense that is probably has the most protection issues in the league. And, he's got a concussion. We saw it happen at the end of that game. So that's a big question mark. He's also Marvin Harrison's on bye now. Marvin Harrison's been underwhelming. But, he also has some guys that are out. We'll see what happens with Baker too. I mean, I know you love him, but that whole game against Detroit, he was facing a lot of pressure, and his throws, a lot of his throws are pretty inaccurate. And, you know, his other guy, Justin Herbert, is behind an offensive line that probably has the second worst protection issues in the NFL. So Alex has some questions this week. And as far as my team, yeah, the Lions provide my most explosion. But, you know, I think I had about 10 guys on my roster that scored over 10 last week. I have multiple dudes who are RB1s. You know, Odunze's taken a step back, but just 2 weeks ago, he was the RB4 overall. So I'm really not too concerned about buys this time around as I was last year. Last year, I feel like we didn't have as good a draft as we needed to have. I think that, you know, we kind of rode the success of our keepers a little bit too hard. Maybe, you know, a couple nice pickups here and there gave us some spot points. But this year, I feel like we have 1 through 10 or 11. We have guys that I would feel comfortable putting in the starting lineup. Guys that have juice, and guys who have nice floors as well. You know, guys who are going to get touches and guys who can break. You know, Jaylen Warren can break. Woody Marks can break if he ever can get the ball. Scatterboo can't necessarily break, but he'll take 25 touches and he'll run through you. You know, so I think we have dudes who can get separation. We have dudes who can break big plays, and you know, the projections speak for themselves. I mean, we have a gimpy Lamar. You know, we have no Lions, and I'm still up there 115. You know, the projections you can get a little bit iffy with Yahoo projections, but, you know, Yahoo respects it.
I mean, they have him winning by 10.
They do have him winning by 10. It's a solid team, but 113 with all your keepers potentially out, I don't mind that so much.
Well, 2 of your keepers being out.
Maybe all 3. We'll see. I don't mind that so much. I think that Alex has a lot to be proud of, but I'm not scared of him. Not in the slightest.
Not in the slightest.
I do think you need to be commended. You know, this whole entire before week 1, you were talking about how great your tight ends were. Brenton Strange, being that guy, and you know, he's done for the year. And then, you know, you go out and get Oronde Gadsden, who's been phenomenal. And if this keeps up, we're talking about potential like Marquise Colston kind of situation from when the Saints got him back in the day. You know, he was an unknown guy from Hofstra at the time. And then he ended up being, you know, one of Breeze's best targets throughout that entire era. And at the beginning of the Yahoo days, I think this was before we started playing in the league with each other, but around that time, Marquise Colston, when he was a UDFA from Hofstra, he was a wide receiver tight end flex in fantasy. He was one of the cheaper cheat codes. It was like his first 2 years, and then after that, they just made him a wide receiver only. But Gadsden's obviously a tight end, but they kind of use him as a receiver. And if you look at his 40 time, look at the way he was used in Syracuse, he's pretty much a receiver. And you're getting a guy who's becoming one of Herbert's already, you know, I mean, you're seeing QJ being kind of phased out of this offense, and then Oronde Gadsden's kind of filling in the gaps there between, you know, the checkdowns between Keenan and Ladd, and you have Gadsden coming in here. I mean, we could potentially be looking at your third keeper in Oronde Gadsden, and I'm not even joking about that, because, I mean, I don't know if you're going to keep Lamar. I know I always make the joke of you, like, getting rid of him, but, like, I mean, you have a team right now full of a plethora of studs who are, like you mentioned, high floor guys that you can keep in the later rounds of this draft, and Gadsden would be a 28th round pick. I mean, so that's actually not bad. I mean, if he keeps this up, I think he's definitely in the conversation of being your third keeper. No question about it.
Yeah, dude. There's a handful of guys. You know, I hope I won't need to trade Lamar and give Lamar a chance to win a championship, right? But there's a handful of guys.
You could trade him and get assets for him, and you could keep it with a third guy because you have a lot of options. I mean, that's what you could do if anyone's going to trade for him.
That's true. I think that there's a handful of dudes on this team. I think that a handful of dudes are guys that are really wanted for this season. And then there's Gadsden could be one of those guys that people might want for the offseason, and someone that I can keep as well. We'll see. I mean, the thing with him is, the nice thing about him is, you know, when that pocket collapses on Herbert, you know, he's good enough to, you know, get 5 yards on a dig or run a quick hitch and fall down, get what you need. But then he's also got enough juice to get separation on a post or a corner or something. So when Herbert does it all the time when he rolls out, you can hit him. I mean, you know, his highlights in Syracuse were fantastic. He was fantastic last week. He was fantastic the week before. He finally gets a shot on it. And he'd been on the field the entire season So we felt really confident about giving him a chance.
Yeah, Gaston and Fannin were two going into the draft were two of the more as far outside of Warren and Loveland. They were the two like as far as like being like athletic. They're the two athletic freaks of this draft with Gaston and Fannin. But the two thing about them, they can't block for shit. So like that was why they were like later round guys.
Yeah, you need to be able to block, stay on the field.
Yeah, I mean in this day and age, I don't think you really need to anymore. Cobb, what do you make from ZT's assessment? It seems like he's got no fear of Alex's team. And I will also say, Alex, Nico Collins is probably not going to play this week. He's in protocol, and you're at least going to miss 1 week. Looking at his lineup, he was dogging yesterday guys who were starting 2 tight ends. He might have to start 2 tight ends because he has nobody else to start besides Andrews or Hunter Henry because he's not going to start Tajay Spears in this matchup. So Alex dogging the 2 tight end sets. I think Alex is going to be one of the ones who's going to have to start a 2 tight end set tomorrow or this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, dogging the 2 tight end set when you probably have the most tight ends on the roster is also pretty funny. I think it's 4 of them. I as far as not being afraid of Alex, I mean, I love the confidence from ZT. It's not a guy that's ever lacked confidence. His team is extremely deep, like you said. I mean, it's not just like startable guys; it's keeper worthy guys. We kind of skipped over Scatabo. He could be a keeper. Adunze is a 4th. He could be a keeper. So like you got a lot of options up there. You got a lot of assets, and this is why we keep harping. You can cash in. This is one of those years I'm hoping that ZT cashes in, at least in the off season. Right now, it makes sense. You're the 1 seed. No need to be too drastic. But I don't know. It's interesting Alex has always had a running back heavy team. So he's had the high floor. Saquon hasn't quite been the same Saquon. I think we all kind of saw that coming. Maybe there's a bounce back though. But thankfully he hit on Javonte Williams. That's been a huge pickup for him. And Cade Otton, I mean, he has the Cade Otton Baker stack. I was actually surprised that no one else went after Cade Otton yet last week on waivers. Alex just got him for free. There's a lot of teams out there that have very bad tight end situations. So it's, kudos to Alex for doing that. But I think one thing to monitor, again, ZT kind of highlighted Baker with an off week last week. As soon as he switches teams, is that going to be, some locker room issues there? Is he just getting acclimated to the new ownership? We'll see. And it's one of those things where it's kind of an issue that I'm having right now. You don't really want to have an issue with starting quarterbacks and having to decide and play that game every single week. And if Baker starts kind of coming back down and Alex having to decide between Herbert and Baker on a weekly basis, that's going to be hard to do. Because Herbert's been he had some quiet weeks, but he's been coming back to life. So yeah, no, I get ZT's. I think he's getting a little disrespected with projections this week for sure. But I think everyone's going to have their eyes set on this matchup, so I'm excited for it.
And that's precisely why we wanted him on the show today. I don't know how you got the invite to the episode. Cobb, did you invite him to the episode? Because I was going to invite him. I've been he doesn't return my calls anymore. He's mad about all the comments I've made about him.
I mean, just judging by the background, he might be outside of HQ and got some inside information. He's been doing a lot of walking over there, so maybe he's kind of walking around the building.
I do think it's interesting though. The Baker situation, right? He gets traded, and luckily that happened, right? Because if Baker got traded, I wouldn't be getting a 5th, let alone an 8th for him if I had we waited another week. Obviously, we had the whole trade that you couldn't trade draft picks after that week. But if we extended it, I probably wouldn't have got an 8th after the performance that Baker had on Monday night. Given all the injuries in the wide receiver room, Godwin, Evans, Abuka, and that's a huge thing for ZT is the fact that Abuka might not even play this week. So yes, that's great for Cade Otton and guys like Tez Johnson, who I have and I'm starting this week. But that's not good for Baker, man. You're going to have Cade Otton as your number 1 option, Tez Johnson as your number 1 options potentially. So, yeah, it might be a week where he doesn't start Baker. I know he traded Pickens for him, and then Broden traded 5 and an 8th, but, dude, that's tough. And when you're going to have to start Hunter Henry or Mark Andrews as your flex spot, if I'm him, and this is if Lamar plays, I would start Mark Andrews just for the fact to kind of offset anything Lamar does. That's what I would do. But again, it's not sexy by any means because Mark Andrews has done shit this year.
One thing that's Yags remembers as well, but I had Cade Otton start a few times last year, and I actually used a double tight end set against Yags going into Monday night. And talking about Yags not learning, that time, even then, he was like, man, I got this. It's over. Put Cade Otton and Travis Kelce put up 20s apiece, and Yags ended up losing. So one thing I don't like, one thing that it does concern me is Cade Otton on the field when Evans and Godwin are not on the field. Baker just loves him some Cade when those guys aren't out there. And if Ibuka's out, Cade's going to get peppered. So we'll see. I mean, might key in on him a little bit. But I think that actually is a sneaky, decent start for Alex. But, like we're talking about, Baker was throwing over everybody's head on Monday. I get there's a lot of pressure. They had a hard time blocking the Lions' ferocious front. But, man, Baker was – get some guys wide open. He just, threw it in the stands. So, I mean, could be some locker room issues, like you're saying, Cobb. I mean, over here, with my squad, we squashed that stuff immediately. We got good leadership. Over there with Alex, I mean, quarterfinals merchant. Maybe his team's a little frustrated. He's never winning the playoffs. You know what I mean? Maybe he lets you get to him, Dash. You know what I mean? Maybe lets you get to him a little bit. And team's struggling. I don't know. I don't know, but.
Yeah, Ibuka is practicing today. He didn't practice yesterday. He's practicing today, so that does bode well for Alex. Still, though, it's tough being without those guys, and Baker's also dealing with an injury too. He's probably not going to go with Herbert this weekend, but honestly, might be worth it to try to offset some of the Oronde Gats and stuff. But again, having two guys on Thursday night would be kind of scary for him. Big night for you guys. He's got Addison. You have Oronde Gats, and so we're going to kind of see where this matchup is going to go. We're going to see kind of how it starts off tonight, based on the trajectory of how Addison versus Oronde Gatson does, and I think Gatson's going to outdo him. So good start for ZT. Cobb, do you have a prediction? I'll take ZT in the matchup. By the way.
Okay. Man, I kind of wanted. I thought you were going to go with Alex and get his back for this week.
I can't. But, his matchups aren't good this week.
Cracks showing in that
I know.
own relationship there. I was also going to go ZT here. I think he's getting disrespected with the projections. Yeah, I think one thing we didn't really touch on with Alex is, I guess we kind of did. His depth isn't that great. Like, Addison is his. Nico. Hopefully he'll be all right in like a week. But Addison, like JJ McCarthy, they really want him to come back. Addison has this connection with Wentz, not with JJ. Then he's going to have to lean on Marvin Harrison Jr., whose peak is at 16. So I don't know. Yeah, but I got ZT here. I think Lamar comes back. I also really need him because I'm on a 4-game skid since losing him in another league. So putting that out there in the universe. Give me ZT and a nail biter and just really cementing himself on top of this league for this season with a strong win. Let's say like a 132 to 127. I think it's gonna be a high score game.
Loser of this game, I'll bold prediction right now. Loser of this game will be fighting for a playoff spot in a couple weeks from now.
Wow. I'll tell you what, if ZT pulls this out without his Lions, pack it up, everybody else.
Oh, yeah, and that's the thing, too. The loser of this game is going to be fighting for a playoff spot in a couple weeks. The winner of this game will clinch a playoff spot in a couple weeks. So it's going to be just two totally different trajectories for the winner or loser of this game. That's why we're calling it the matchup of the week.
Are we seeing? Do we think this is the locked in 1 seed then? If whoever wins this, locked in 1 seed?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
right.
we might already be seeing that right now with the way ZT's teams, have been patching up these wins, even with their horrible quarterback play. I mean, some say that he's a team of destiny after the way CJ Stroud was able to throw that touchdown pass at the end of the game last week. Were you watching that game?
Yeah, I was watching most of it.
You didn't watch the end though, did you?
I didn't watch the very end.
Wow.
I mentally said I was done after when was it? I think after JSN caught like the second ball of the first drive of the second half. I was like, this is done now.
So there was a kind of a conversation going. I'm just curious what you guys think.
Yeah, that was a funny conversation.
There was a conversation going on late Monday night between me, Hodge, ZB, and Tasia in the group chat. That like if like you have a match going down the wire and I'm still on the group thread and you checked out of the group thread and you're probably not watching it, there should be kind of like a $5 fine, like for not like watching, not seeing your game through, right? There should be something. For not seeing your matchup through is kind of weak, like especially if it's coming down to a wire kind of thing. There should be some kind of fine related, like to make sure you're like still like up to snuff and like you're still doing your due diligence because. Not do your due diligence by finish you off your weak game. I mean, come on, man.
Where would that league fine go? Where would that league fine go?
It would just go to the pot that funds the draft board that we buy every year.
That's a very interesting. That'll be a very interesting vote next season in the.
I'm sure we have a lot of degenerates in the league. I'm sure they would be okay with like letting it go.
They should also not put out Monday. They should have Monday night games start at 10 p.m. And the quarterback score combined 25. Like they shouldn't do that.
Yeah, really odd how they done that this year. But I do like it though. I do like having multiple games on. I mean, it's key. You just have I have like the Mariners game on my bottom screen, and I had the other game up top. It was nice.
I think the week before was better. Just having the staggered by like an hour start time.
Yeah,
that was
that's
better
key
for
too.
the East Coasters.
Yeah.
I do miss Monday night games being like the game, like that was this is the game of the week.
Well,
I feel like
you'll get that on Monday, buddy, because they make sure Chiefs games are standalones. They don't give the doubleheaders with us. With Jacksonville game was a standalone game, and they went back to doubleheaders the week after, and then doubleheader last week, and then they went back to the Chiefs game, just Chiefs solo the coming weekend. So they know where the bread is made.
Well, it was supposed to be a bit more of a draw, but things haven't really gone according to plan and reality this year. So
yeah, yeah, you're right. So ZT, I don't know if you have to go or not. I know I wanted you on for your matchup, but Cobb and I are going to go to the next matchups. If you want to stick around for the other matchups, or you need a bail.
Stick around for a little bit. I want to see what you guys have to say.
Okay. All right. That's fair. So all three of us in for ZT over Alex this week. Sorry, Alex. All right. Our next matchup here, we go by rankings. So that was the 1 versus 2 seed matchup. We're going to the 3 seed versus 10 seed, I believe. And that is Hotch versus Dash in this matchup. No, that's sorry. There you go. Hotch versus Dash in this matchup. So since it's my matchup, I don't say anything till the very end. So I'll let Cobb start this off, and ZT, you guys can bounce off each other.
Yeah, I mean, this is usually a game everyone has circled. Going into the season, Dash versus Hodges, this fireworks. Chat should be going off back before that. I think it's going to be a little watered down this season, just based off of the state of things. But this league is full of surprises, so I hope it is more exciting than what the projections show. Going quarterback matchup right out the gate. Hotch already off the Daniels train, the guy that he traded 2 firsts in the second 4 in favor of Drake May, who has been balling, but I think this is also going to be one of the better defenses New England has faced all season. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see if it's more of like a game manager game for Drake, where he gets like a 14. But Hotch is all in on this guy. I mean, I am too as a Patriots fan, but fantasy wise, let's see what he does. Going against Mahomes, QB1, not really a hard decision. Give me Mahomes against Washington. I was hoping Jaden Daniels would play just so there was a little more fireworks. Everyone, ZT included, says that Mariota can get the job done, or at least have a respectable stat line to hopefully make this somewhat competitive. I just saw Debo and Terry, both full participants in practice. Great sign. But Mahomes got Rashee Rice back last week. Looked awesome. Give me Mahomes in that matchup. Worthy and Jamar Chase. I mean, everyone was wondering what these Bengals were going to look like with Flacco, and that might have been the story of the week, even though it was on Thursday, so it kind of got buried pretty quickly. But man, that looked insane. 23 targets Chase got. I mean, Flacco came in, he knew exactly what he wanted to do. He's like, I'll just give the ball to Chase, give the ball to Higgins, good things will happen. That's usually what you want your quarterback to do. I'm still questioning how real it is. I don't really know how if Flacco can sustain it, but he's getting those targets. It shouldn't matter for fantasy wise. Worthy, slow down. Not that he's ever kind of busted out this season, but I think again you're kind of banking on a stat touchdown there. I'm going to go Jamar Chase. Again, Rashee Rice back, a lot of weapons in KC that Mahomes is going to throw to, but Jamar Chase is going to get funneled targets. Judkins against Ramondre Stevenson. Oh God. Cleveland, one of the best run defenses in the league, if not the best. And then Judkins is going against the Patriots, who have not allowed a running back to run over 50 yards yet this season, which is crazy. I love it. Still going to take Judkins, though, in that sense. I mean, Cleveland hasn't let anyone run on them. Cleveland hasn't let anyone run on them, dude.
Yeah, okay, but here would be my counter to that. You're a Patriots fan. You guys have a better offense overall than them, so you guys have a better chance of getting in the red zone. That team, that Cleveland team's not getting in the red zone at all. I mean, Ramondre before last week, he's just a touchdown dependent guy. So who has a better chance of getting a touchdown? Judkins doesn't really get a lot of catches out of the backfield, which is pretty crazy. He doesn't get a lot of touches receptions wise. I thought he'd be more of a receptions target with Gabriel being their quarterback. But I would say just based on both defenses being as they are, I would just take Ramondre being on who has a higher chance of getting a touchdown this week. And based on the betting lines, Ramondre does have a higher chance of getting a touchdown than Judkins this week. But it's your opinion.
I appreciate it. Yeah, no, I mean, I think both of you guys need a touchdown, but I have take touchdowns away. If none of these guys get a touchdown, I think Judkins has a better stat line. That's all it is. But I get it. You know, I will say that one of our running backs just got picked up for I think the Chargers signed him. So it should just be Henderson back there with Mondre. So I'm interested to see if maybe Henderson gets more work this week. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a closer matchup than it should be because of the defensive matchups that these running backs are going against. But stat line, give me Judkins. Mason Taylor against Goddard. Goddard came back down to earth first week, I think, without a touchdown. Mason Taylor, I don't want anything on that Jets offense. So give me Goddard in that matchup. Against the Giants, I think Eagles have a lot to play for. And just I think Goddard's a better tight end. Fantasy-wise, CeeDee Lamb, Wan'Dale Robinson. CeeDee Lamb came back last week. Looked awesome, got the touchdown. Going against Surtain and the Denver defense has caused issues all season. I think this is where Wan'Dale's only projected a 9, which is crazy.
Yeah, they really fucking with the projections, poor guy.
Yeah, like, I mean, I think CD is going to have a good game, but it wouldn't surprise. Like, I don't know. It's hard for me to pick against CD, but with the matchup that Wan'Dale has and like Dart only, like he hyper targets him, I think Slayton's supposed to play this week potentially. I think this is going to be a closer matchup than it typically would, just based off of matchup. So I don't know. I kind of think Wan'Dale with a little upset over CD. Yeah, like it's just the matchup with Surtain. Like that's just all the respect to Denver's defense. I think. Sure. Granted, they did kind of get. I mean, Dart had a good game against them last week. I don't know. I'll give you that one. I'll give you Wan'Dale.
That's really shocking. Wow.
Got to make it an interesting game. Just go by the books in this thing. Yeah. Devonta Smith against Waddle. I mean, this is pretty toss up for me. Devonta Smith had a pretty big game last week. Jesus Christ, he got a 30, so a really big game last week. Go against the Giants. Waddle going against Atlanta. Atlanta has a really good defense. I'm just gonna say it's gonna be a wash. Like I just Devonta Smith seems to have a good week and then goes completely quiet, and that's just been the trend of all the way probably since last season as well. Waddle targets should be there. So like the floor seems a little higher. So I don't know. I'm kind of leaning a wash here. I'm gonna go wash. Tez Johnson, Rachaad White. Just for the known production, I kind of want to go White. Tez has looked great. He's just a fun guy to watch play. Everyone's seen the clips of him with the MVP chance and stuff. I think that got him a lot of fans. With Ibuka, I think he's supposed to play. Mike Evans is out, but I think I'm going to go Rashad White just for the known touches there. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of matchups here that are hindering or kind of have Hotch on a little bit of an upset potential. I think it's more of the known production that kind of had me leaning Hotch a lot in these matchups. So I think the projections are kind of off. I'm going to go 125 to 120 for Hotch. I think it's going to be a close game. I think you have better matchups across the board, so it wouldn't surprise me if you pull off an upset here.
Z Tizzle.
Yeah, just looking at this, some of these projections are insane. Rashad White is a projected 16. I mean, what? That's a little wild. That's a little wild to me. Sorry, I'm using my phone here, so my camera's going on and off. But can you hear me?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
See, May versus Mahomes. Yeah, I mean, I've been watching Washington all year. Definitely Mahomes by a wide margin. I think Mahomes can get 35 or more. Worthy Chase, but 170-yard bomb to Worthy, and that bridges the gap a little bit. So, it's maybe not that much, but I think like 23 targets. Like, I mean, come on. Even though they got to deal with Sauce, I mean, come on. You know what I mean? Judkins, Stevenson. I think this is a little disrespectful. Judkins, yeah, I understand that New England hasn't given up many rush yards, but Judkins also has looked really good. That's one of the unheralded draft picks of the season or of the draft. Everyone gave Cobb hot shit for drafting Judkins because he was about to be arrested. He's looked pretty solid. Stevenson, I mean, 11? Really? I mean, he's got 4 games with 5 points or less. I can't see it unless he gets in the end zone, which is, I mean, it's possible, but I can't see it. Now, the one thing that does benefit those projections, I guess, is like Travion Harrison seems even more in the doghouse than he was like even before last week. So, I mean, I guess that does kind of benefit Stevenson a little bit, but I got to take Judkins there. And then Mason Taylor and Goddard might be the worst tight end matchup of the week. That's actually kind of tough. Goddard did score hilariously last time the Giants and Eagles played, much to Cobb's dismay. But man, that's tough, man. Cincinnati looked. Noah Fant scored a touchdown last week, which that was like the only time he's really done anything this season. I think I'll give that to Mason Taylor just for the matchup.
Wow, you're really not a God fan, huh? You still want him to do well because I called him being key. It's okay. I mean, last time he played against the Giants, Cobb remembers well. I mean, the guy had put up a 25 against them.
He did. It was really funny. That was a really funny moment. But Cincinnati defense is just one of the worst ever. I
mean, they don't even know who their starting quarterback's going to be this week.
They don't, but anything is better than what they've had. And we say the same thing about the Bengals, and they got Flacco, and all their pass catchers always already all of a sudden took a bump up against a pretty good defense in Pittsburgh.
I mean, you're just really going with an unproven commodity over a guy who's been proven this year, but it's okay. That's your opinion.
Man, this is where it gets ugly for you. CD Wandale, that's CD. Now, there is Surtain there, but the thing is, like, Dallas can go in so many different directions that Denver's going to be a little bit stretched. So I got to go CD. Now, Wandale could have a touchdown or two, which will even things out. But one bad thing for the Giants and one thing that scares me with Scattaboo a little bit is Jalen Carter's healthy. He wasn't healthy. I don't think he played in the game, their first matchup. So that spells a little bit of bad news for the Eagles or for the Giants. So I got to go CD there. Devontae versus Jalen Waddle. Until further notice, I can't take a Dolphins player over anybody. Devontae had a big week last week. Now, I know the Eagles have their problems throwing the ball. And, now that A.J. Brown had another interesting text message or DM or Instagram message or whatever the hell, they might try to feed him a little bit. But I'll take Devontae over Waddle in a close one there. I think that may be the lowest score outside the tight ends. That might be the lowest scoring matchup there. And I'm taking Tez over Rashad White, man. I don't understand these projections for White at all. I mean, like, he doesn't scare anybody as a runner. He's had a couple decent weeks running the ball, but all of his points have come from touchdowns. He has multiple weeks with less than 20 rushing yards. Obviously Bucky was healthy at that time, but like even without Bucky, he's not doing really anything on the ground. And they have with all, Egbuka's banged up, but he's playing, but they have a lot of injured receivers. So teams are going to change how they play. Tampa and New Orleans defense, honestly, man, it's nothing to really scoff at. New Orleans, their defense has kept them around even despite having, really bad set of weapons or a really bad quarterback play.
Yeah.
Not a bad set of
Honestly,
weapons
and
so
also
much,
Rattler
but-
hasn't looked that bad either. He gets a bad rap, but he hasn't actually looked that bad this year.
No, there have been quarterbacks that have played worse than him. So
Scrappy team.
yeah, they don't go away. So, and this is a divisional matchup. They know each other. So yeah, I'm taking Tez Johnson in that. Tez Johnson has a chance to be like Amon-Ra St. Brown,
Well, I mean,
There's a
very different type of guy.
I mean, but think about it. Godwin, how many years does he have left of being an elite guy? Right?
No, I get that, but I'm saying Amon-Ra St. Brown's built like a fucking he's solid, dude. Tez is not solid. He weighs like 150, man.
He's very small, but he finds the soft spots like Amon-Ra does. And Amon-Ra isn't like necessarily a burner,
Well, Tez is.
Sure, but like they find like the soft spots and stuff, and like they're both day 3 guys.
I think Tez has a chance to be like a Waddle or Wandale. I mean, that's what Tez has to be. Like, I mean, that's what he could be, which is not bad. I mean, that's great.
That's pretty good.
No, it's great. Like, I literally have the same type of receiver on my team.
Yeah, I mean, so man, who's
So you
gonna
have
win this
Hodge. You have
matchup?
Hodge winning then, based on all your
Hodge
projections.
is gonna win. Yeah, Hodge is gonna win.
Wow.
But I mean, there's a range of outcomes where you could get it done. I'm not gonna lie. Like there is the potential that you do have potential to win, but let's go Hodge. 120 to 105.
So we'll know
Wow.
early. We'll know early on in this game if Hodge wins. Hodge has 8 guys at the 1:00 start. I only have 4 guys in the 1:00 spot, and most of mine will be coming down to the Monday night game or Monday night and 4:00 is all I got. So Hodge has got to deal with the primetime Dashmeister. That's not a fun place to be in. Fun fact about Tez Johnson: do you guys know who his brother is? Tez Johnson.
No, not the top of my head.
CC? Bo Nix is his brother.
What?
Yeah, his Bo Nix's family adopted him because he had a rough upbringing.
What?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, they did. I think they did a college game day thing on it last year or 2 years ago.
Also, just a quick stat check. Amon-Ra St. Brown is 2 inches taller and has 40 pounds on Tez Johnson.
Yeah, I mean it's not even like he's
Wow,
not gonna be a
that's
Tez
a lot of
Johnson. Yeah, I mean he could be like a Jammo Wanderlei kind of guy. I mean like a mix of like a burner and also a guy who gets like it's tough. I feel like he's more in the Wandale mold than
Also, like a day 3 dude who like takes some time to get together and then just starts tearing it up. I could totally see Tez Johnson being like, a target hog, like Amon-Ra is, and
He could
becoming an every year keeper. I could see that happening.
With
yeah.
Iguodala?
Well, I
With
mean, no, I think his point is like when Evans and Godwin are kind of take off, that they become the next 2 up kind of thing, Ibuka and him. But they also have McMillan too coming back too, and he was a second or third round pick. So they just have a lot of guys over there. But at least for this year, for my case this year, just help me out with the amount of injuries I have. Let Tez be what you're talking about. Yeah, I would be very happy if he became that.
Yeah, I can see it.
I'll take myself in the upset though. I usually don't pick. I usually don't pick for me. But I think I'm gonna win this week. Hodge's matchups don't really scare me. Devontae Smith, the last time he played the Giants, didn't do shit. Goddard. It was the guy against them. I mean, he was finding the soft spots. The only person who was actually doing anything in that game offensively for them was DeGod. So we'll see him. And apparently he's limited in practice this week, but last few weeks he's been playing with a brace. Not wearing a brace anymore. He's wearing a sleeve now, a compression sleeve now. So his knee's getting better. He's looking good. And yeah, I think your defense is horrible against. You guys have allowed the most explosive plays over the last 3 weeks. No Dorrance Armstrong, so no one really to get at Pat.
It's bad, man.
I think he's gonna have all day to throw some bombs, and I think we'll see some explosive plays from Worthy this coming week, like you mentioned. So yeah, and I don't think Tez is gonna do that much worse than Rashad White. The Wandale CeeDee Lamb thing, I do kind of tend to agree with Cobb there. Surtain, I mean, he's just going to follow CeeDee Lamb all game long. And then, Waddle, not a lot to love with the Miami offense, but the one thing about that offense is when they play in a dome, their offensive numbers are just like night and day comparatively when they play outside or in warm weather. So that definitely helps them too, not playing in fucking like the Cleveland rain like they were last week, which was a disaster. But yeah, I'll give myself a win. I think it's going to be a close one. Another Monday night comeback. We'll go, 119 to 1. Actually, no. Shit. No, he's going to score a lot of points. 125 to 132.
Also, one thing to note, A.J. Brown was out of practice today.
Oh, wow.
The God. Come on. Why are we only talking about Devontae Smith? The God time. So, yeah, we'll go with that. All right. So, I knew ZT was going to pick against me. I knew it wasn't going to be all good stuff.
Yeah, I didn't say you were going to get destroyed, though.
That's fair.
You did. I mean, you said 125 to 105, didn't you?
120, 105. It's not as bad.
Oh.
Yikes.
And I gave him Ted Johnson.
What? And I love it. You said Mahomes is going to have like 40 points, so Mahomes is going to have half my score. No respect. All right, our next matchup here, we got Roden and Adam. Roden, my guy. Ever since I said Roden was my guy, he's been on a 2-game skid and back-to-back low-score chugs. So I'm sorry about that, Dave. I was not in my intention to reverse jinx your amazing season. But apparently it's turned out that way. Roden will be sending me his chug this weekend. He'll post in the group chat this weekend at some point. So we'll get right to it. Dak Prescott versus Denver. Denver's defense, while it's good, they have some holes. Jackson Dart really exploited it last week. Only thing is Jackson Dart runs it a little bit, so there's a little bit of that multi-dimensional aspect to him. Dak doesn't run it at all. So that's the one thing I'll say about this. They have a good pass rush, and if they can get to Dak, who's not going to be running it, I think that could be a problematic. Josh Allen, last time we saw him was a disaster on Monday night. I do think Josh Allen comes out pretty hard against Carolina this week. It's at Carolina. They play better at home, but I think Josh Allen will have a good game this week, and I'll take him over Dak against Denver. But I could see Dak having a good game just based on the way Jackson Dart looked, but the fact that he doesn't run the ball, that takes away an element of a game that Jackson Dart does have. So give me Josh Allen. A.J. Brown, like Cobb mentioned, he's out today. He was not seen at practice, so there could be maybe injury, could be on the way out. Who knows? Some cancerous stuff going on there. And because for that reason alone, I'm going to go George Pickens because I think George Pickens will be the guy in this offense this week because I think they're gonna make an effort to take away Lamb, and Pickens will be the guy this week. It'll be Pickens-Ferguson game and for Dallas this week. So I'll give me Pickens over A.J. Brown. Chase Brown, who came alive last week, or Rico Dowdle. Now, a lot of people thought Rico Dowdle was going to go back to being the RB2 when Chuba Hubbard came back. And last week, Rico Dowdle looked much better than Chuba Hubbard. I mean, if you're a Carolina fan, you must be very upset they paid Chuba Hubbard all that money because Rico Dowdle looked better than him by a long shot. So one good game for Chase Brown. I'm not going to take it away. I have to go with Rico Dowdle. Buffalo's defense is horrible. We saw Bijan exploit it. We saw Ramondre and the boys exploit him. We're going to go Rico Dowdle over Buffalo this week. Jake Ferguson, Evan Ingram. Give me Jake Ferguson. I think he's one of the guys who's going to have a good week against Denver's defense. Although Evan Ingram's starting to come alive. Solid 7 every week for the last 3 weeks. It's like five or four catches a week for the last 3 weeks. So not bad. But I got to go Jake Ferguson. He's tight end 1 this year. Right ahead of my guy, or our guy, the God. So, yeah, Ferguson. Drake London, T. Higgins. Drake London over T. Higgins. T. Higgins, I can't see him doing what he did again last week. I'm going to go Drake London. He's just a target hog. Travis Kelce, Abuka. Abuka's back this week. Give me Abuka over Travis Kelce. Jawan Jennings, Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel's back this week. I'll take Deebo Samuel over Jawan Jennings. I think he'll be utilized a little bit in a myriad of ways, more creative ways with Daniels being out, get him some carries, get him some screens. So I see Samuel having a better game than Jawan Jennings. So with all that to say, it looks like it's almost a clean sweep for my guy Dave. So give me Dave with a big win this week. Give him 135 to Adams 115.
Yeah, I think I have Dave in this one too. I'm trying to see who like say AJ Brown doesn't play. Oh, doesn't really have a good backup, man. It's RJ Harvey. Got to take the shot on RJ Harvey. That's pretty bad. I mean, I was looking at these matchups, and I think this is gonna be a low scoring matchup. I think it's gonna be like I think I lean Roden here with Josh Allen and Igbuka and Higgins. Hopefully getting the same treatment with Flacco this week. But I think it's gonna be like a 115 to 102. DT.
Yeah, that's really low scoring.
I mean, I do think Igbuka's getting a little juiced until that hamstring's healthy. I don't know if I can trust it, but then Adams got Kelsey in the flex, and while he's playing Washington, I mean, we might have to make some changes to our defense because Dorrance Armstrong's out, so maybe get a couple guys who can actually cover at linebacker in there. And the Chiefs have all these options now. I don't know. Even with it and healthy Igbuka, I think he wins that matchup. And the rest of the stuff outside of Jake Ferg and Ingram, I think Roden wins. Even despite he's starting a timeshare running back, I think Roden wins. I don't know about 135, 115, but maybe 128 to 117, maybe. Depending on AJ Brown. If AJ Brown doesn't play, it's going to be the biggest blowout of the week.
Biggest blowout of the week. Damn.
Biggest blowout of the week if AJ Brown doesn't play.
Wow. I mean, AJ Brown's been like hit or miss all season anyway.
Sure, but like Cobb said, what else does he have? And AJ Brown, I mean, last couple weeks he's been okay, and what else does he have to use? Nothing.
Yeah, you're right.
So
clean sweep for Adam.
Yeah,
all right, for Dave.
I think so. I think the biggest thing with Dave is just getting his run. That's getting that running back situation figured out. I think he's got to maybe make some moves there. I think there's a lot of teams with some better options. Just having to choose between Dowdle and Chuba against better matchups going to be the bane of its existence when we're fighting for playoff spots. So hopefully he gets that figured out.
I mean, it seems like he's picking the right guy here because it looks like he is the dude. So, oh man.
Yeah.
So as we're talking, Jalen Waddle just popped up on the injury report with both hamstrings. Both hamstrings, limited practice, but he's limited though. So
I'm seeing did not practice.
Thursday participation limited. I'm looking at the Dolphins report on Twitter.
Oh damn! All right, NBC Sports got it wrong.
That's It says limited. Yeah, hamstrings, so plural, and then rest is what it said. Whatever the fuck that means.
Jesus, that's brutal.
So, Dave, and Adam loses this game. Adam goes to 3-5. So, and we're talking potential Tomato King
fall from grace, man.
Area. I know he started off strong too. A couple guys started off strong and they just kind of fell off.
I will say I wasn't really I was all in on Drake London again, and then I was like, people keep talking about when Mooney's active and everything like that. It doesn't, and lo and behold, Mooney's active, Drake London, bad game. So
it's true.
We'll see if that holds up. But
it is a bad defense they're going up against this week, so that does help.
Yeah.
I mean, that is one of the only wins Adam has over Dave's live is Ferguson in London, and that's pretty much it.
Gotta hope a stack touchdown doesn't go to Pickens.
Yeah, I mean, based on the way Dak's been going in the Ferguson, I mean, that's kind of the way Adams kind of rode this thing is that the stack Prescott with Ferguson and him. So, all right, our next one we got Cobb versus Yags. Ooh, this is huge. So Yags has to go through the gauntlet. He went through me last week, and now he's got to go through the Cobb. He might complete the not the trifecta, but the duo alluding to both of us, man. The Cobb and Dash show lost the two L's. So it kind of it's mind blowing with the Yags. He doesn't understand what a stack is, and we make the joke call them the staggers, but what you have is not a stack. Jordan Love and Josh Jacobs is not a stack. You just have two guys on the same team. It's only a stack when he throws in the ball, and hence why a receiver. I mean, Jacobs doesn't really get that many checkdowns. I can't remember the last time he had a touchdown catch from Dak or from Love. So it's not a stack. And he said the reason he said he almost started Stafford against me last week, and he said he would have, but he said he just wanted to see the stack in action. He loves the stack so much. I'm like, dude, it's not a stack. I mean, it's an awful reason to go with it, but nonetheless, I love the kid, and he's a cute kid. So with a rationale like that, it's adorable. So let's begin. We have Love versus Pittsburgh, Indiana Jones versus Tennessee. I'm gonna go Love against Pittsburgh. We saw last week they made Joe Flacco look like Joe Burrow, and you can't. I think Love's gonna have a big blow up game against them. I think Love's gonna want to show to the world that I'm better than Aaron Rodgers, and he's gonna against a bad secondary. I think he's gonna have a good game. Indiana Jones gets Tennessee. Tennessee actually don't have a bad defense. They're a horrible team, but for the amount of times they're on the field, they actually play pretty well. But they're on the field all game long because their offense sucks, and they get put in really precarious situations. So I think Love will have a better game. The 17 is kind of a weird projection for him. They've had a lot of bad projections this week, but give me Love. Jefferson, Ladd. Ooh, we got Thursday Night Showdown. Oh yeah, this is good. I'm gonna take. Man, this is tough. I'm going to go Jefferson in a slight one. I might go, honestly, I'm going to go wash. I'm going to go wash. Jefferson, Ladd's a wash. Yeah, it's a wash. Jacobs, Henry against Chicago. Jacobs versus Pittsburgh. Again, man, we saw Chase Brown come to life last week against this horrible defense. And then we're going to go Josh Jacobs here. We're going to go with the Staggers to take over this one. Henry, it's going to depend on if Lamar plays or not. If Lamar plays, I like Henry. If Lamar doesn't play and it's Cooper Rush or Huntley, I like Jacobs. So, yeah, honestly, if Lamar plays, it's a wash. I'll say it's a wash between the two of them. But if Lamar does not play, I'm going to go Jacobs. So, kind of a toss-up. Sam Laporte versus Tyler Warren. I think he's probably Juwan Johnson there. Juwan Johnson for Tyler Warren. No, Tyler Warren, he's been phenomenal this year. Honestly, you have two good tight ends. You could have probably have the Colts had a bye week yet?
No, they don't. Week 11.
I was gonna say you could probably trade Hockenson to a team that needs a tight end, because he actually look the last 3 or 4 weeks for Hockenson. He's actually looked good, but that's with Wentz though. Once Wentz is gone, I don't know what's gonna happen. Yeah, but I'll go Tyler Warren. He's been awesome this year. Potential keeper, 4th round. DK Metcalf versus Bijan Robinson. Bijan versus Miami's awful defense. Give me Bijan Robinson. Rashid Shaheed, Stephon Diggs. Diggs. Gets Cleveland though. Shaheed's been solid. I'm kind of a Shaheed guy. God, man, the projections are like the exact same. I'll go Shaheed. I think Shaheed's a little bit more of an edge over Stephon. And then you got Michael Pittman versus Zay Flowers. I love Michael Pittman. I think he's been fantastic. A lot of Colts in this matchup. Jesus. Man. So anything Pittman does, it's offset with Daniel Jones. So that's key. Yeah, again, Zay Flowers, I think it really comes down to who his quarterback is. If it's Lamar, I like Zay Flowers over Pittman. But as it stands right now, I'll take Pittman. I think Pittman has maybe key PPR game in this one. Does Yags pull off the upset? Oh, my God. I think so.
Good.
Just based on what I just went through right there. Yeah, so Love went to him. Jefferson, that was a wash. So Love, Jacobs. Warren went to you. Bijan, you. Shaheed, him. Pittman. Yeah. I mean, it depends if Lamar plays, but I'm going to go by. I think Yags wins in an upset. He couldn't beat me, but he could beat you. That's kind of key. I'll go Yags. I'll go Yags 125 to Cobb 120. Big night for you guys though with the Jefferson Ladd game.
Man,
see Tizzle.
That's wild. I think that the QB, receiver, and running back I think are all pretty close there. I like Daniel Jones just because of his rushing floor. And then but that's the thing. Cobb has 2 Ravens, and their quarterback we don't know if they're going to play. So I really think the matchup could flip on that, because if Shaheed gets a big play or something and evens out Diggs, I mean, that's big. I mean, Bijan's a huge advantage there, and Tyler Warren's a huge advantage. But, if those Ravens get whoever the hell, we could see an upset. But I still think Cobb wins. Let's give him Let's go low. Let's go 118, 112. I think this is top heavy too. I think Cobb gets a lot of his points from Asia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I love the idea of the 1,000,004-4 teams this week. That's gonna that's honestly playing a part in some of my win losses here.
Yeah, this is I definitely not as confident in this matchup as I feel like I should be going against a Yags team that's been kind of falling apart, and I think he's going to be this is a get right game for him, and that's what I've snuck by with a couple wins. I've snuck a couple wins out the last couple weeks, and now it might be kind of time to balance it out for my team, but. Especially just trying to decide between Daniel Jones and Caleb Williams has been an issue. I thought Caleb was going to go off last week, got me a 4 when Daniel Jones got like a 20-something. So he's looked great. I think I'm going to be riding Daniel Jones until Caleb shows me something, but he is going against Baltimore. That's kind of exciting. Haven't made my final decision there, but I think I'm just kind of more excited for next week when I'll get Kyron back and I'll have my full starting lineup, and I'm feeling a little better about that. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm just going to give myself benefit of the doubt. I'll pull it out 120, 126 to like a 118. Hopefully get the win there. I thought about not trading Golden just so I had a piece in that Sunday night game. So if Love just had like a random bomb to Golden and they actually connected finally, that would have been key. But yeah, I think it also kind of sucks that all my team is done. So we'll know where my team stands pretty early on, and Yags can come back Sunday night or whenever they play. When are they starting?
The fact that Yags is starting 2 Saints is kind of brutal.
It is, but I mean, it's a bye week tight end, so
yeah.
Still, yeah, no, yeah, it's gonna come down to Sunday night. You're right. Love, Jacobs, DK Metcalf. Damn,
I can already see the text coming in from Yags like, haha, what the fuck? Like, didn't think I was gonna win this one. Haha, you like that, Cobb? Jacobs.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fucking check down TD too.
Yeah. I mean, if you are going to lose to a guy, it's a good guy to lose to. Actually, no, he'll bring it up to you. And the worst part is, he doesn't eat, sleep, and breathe fantasy like we do. He just likes playing it. Like him having a win over you, it's kind of painful.
I mean, he did it last year and then completely fell apart. Named his team after me, Cobwebs on the court, and then still never shows up when I go to ball. Kind of disrespectful there.
That's actually very true. In the fall season, you've come to more ball sessions than he has so far.
Wow,
that's crazy.
No, he's coming to 2 this season. You've come to 1. So still though.
Yeah, but yeah, it's gonna be one to watch, and I'm not excited about it.
All right, so Cobb, so you have yourself?
Yeah.
So I'm the only one who's taking Yags this week. All right. Cool. Okay, we got our next matchup. We got Jack versus ZB, 2 members of the new owners club in this matchup. Cobb, break this down for us.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big one for ZB. He's lost 4 in a row. He went 3-0 and has now lost 4 straight. That's brutal. A guy that he has championship potential. We saw it last year. He made it the championship game. Lil J, I think he had a hot start. I mean, he has the most points in the league. He's just had a unfortunate season. I think there's a lot of potential still for him to make a playoff push, get in here and make some noise. He's in the 6th spot. So this is a huge game for both. Loser of this is going to be on the outside of the playoffs. Going matchup by matchup, getting into it. Jalen Hurts against Jackson Dart. ZB's been trying to figure out his QB situation all season. I think just because Kyler Murray has been nothing. I thought he had someone else. Oh, yeah, he had Darnold, who's now on the waivers. But Dart against Hurts. Key that we're having 2 QBs going against each other. I'm going to go Jalen Hurts. He has gotten below a 20 once. That was against Kansas City. He's been so consistent going against Giants defense that just let Bo Nix get like a 45 on him or something like that. Last week, Dart, I'm still questioning how real all of it is. I think against Philly, should be a fun game. I'm just worried that, he's had 4 good games in a row, but he could easily have like a 5 or a 6 kind of worries me. The floor there really worries me. I'm going to go Hurts just because, one of the safest QBs you can have. Alec Pierce versus Matthew Golden at the wide receiver 1 position for this game. Okay, there are some bye weeks. Yeah, that's a little rough. I'm going to go wash here. I mean, Alec Pierce.
Really? Over Golden?
I mean, Golden's been good. I mean, I probably would, if I had to, I'd lean Golden because I think he's getting a lot more involved in the offense. I think Christian Watson might play this week.
Oh, really?
I think so. And Alec Pierce coming up 10-target game. I don't know. It's just like not super exciting. If there is a difference, I don't think it's major. I mean, I do like Golden as a player a lot more, so I'll lean Golden now. But I'll lean Golden. But it's very close to a wash. James Cook against CMC. Give me CMC. James Cook had an awesome start of the season. 2 weeks before the bye, did not do so well. So hopefully, they get things right over in Buffalo, and can get James Cook back to cooking. But James hit a 39 last week. Oh my God, this dude has been massive. We are giving Tasia all the kudos in the world for making that pivot from CMC last minute for Derrick Henry. This is why you don't cash a check after week 1, because CMC has been the most valuable. Probably, the most valuable fantasy asset this season. Hasn't gotten below a 20. I think got a 39 last week, so that's a pretty easy win there. Schultz versus Pitts. Schultz has been doing pretty well. I think I'm gonna lean Schultz there. I think Pitts still has. He's an okay. I guess he had a 4 2 weeks ago. I just think there's a lot of weapons, and they probably are going to lean on Bijan in that game. I'm going to lean Schultz there, at least with the just consistency he's had the last few weeks. Not a super exciting tight end matchup, though. Kendrick Bourne against Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, going against Bill. Bill has came back down to earth. I think on this show, we called it after his 25-point game. We were like, we don't really think that's the norm. And then he's put together a string of 5 and a 4 the last 2 weeks. Kendrick Bourne had 2 good weeks with Mac Jones, and then was really quiet against Atlanta. Atlanta has a really good defense. Houston has a really good defense. Man, I don't know. Man, this is a tough one. I kind of want to go Krosky-Merritt. I mean, no, because then Mariota's going to be the quarterback. I'll give it a wash, man. I don't like that matchup at all. I mean, I might lean Krosky-Merritt just because I know he'll get touches, but he's going against KC. I don't really like that matchup. So I don't think it's a really strong lean for him. A-Chain against Kamara. Give me A-Chain. The only piece, at least, especially while Waddle has hamstrings that are hurt, that I want of the Miami offense. Has been a little quiet here and there, but still has a really safe floor going against Kamara, who has been very he's going to give you 7 or 13. I like A-Chain's ceiling there. Tony Pollard against Jaden Higgins. I'm going to go Pollard. I think, again, just safer floor there. Nico could be out, could elevate Higgins, but we really haven't seen anything from Jaden Higgins. I drafted the guy hoping Texans will look a little better than they have. They have not. The O-line sucks. So give me Pollard in that matchup. So all in all, I mean, I just think the differences in the matchups that Jack has are the difference maker with Hurts, CMC, and A-Chain. I think it could be a closer game than the projections are indicating. CB is projected for under 100, which I don't know the last time we've seen someone projected for under 100 in this league, at least this year. But give me little J with a 123 to like a 112. And
under 100 is really hard to do in a 3 IDP league, like extremely hard to do. I mean, honestly, like looking at Jack's team, I know it's a lot of bye weeks and stuff, but like looking at Jack's team, like I don't feel bad about some of the lineups I put out there this year because like he literally just picked up Alec Pierce and Jaden Higgins within the last 2 weeks, and he's starting them this week. I mean, like that is awful. So I do think even with those bum starts, he's gonna probably win this game. I don't see ZB winning this week. I think ZB's team is in for a rude awakening. I think ZB is going to be contemplating Tomato King after this, honestly. Like
you
that.
just pick up Christian Watson.
What?
You sneaky son of a gun.
Yeah, it's not bad. Because no wide receiver there's really pulled away as being the guy there, right? I think that, Christian Watson last year going into the season was the wide receiver one, and all of a sudden people are just off him. All of a sudden, yeah, he's been injured, but like people don't think he's gonna have a role when he does come back. I think he'll have a role. He was a high pick for them. So yeah, I think ZB loses this game. I did think Kamara could have a big week. Kendrick Miller's out and out for the season, so we may see more touches for Kamara because for a while there, he's kind of designated to being their pass catching back, which is kind of odd. They weren't really utilizing him. I think Kamara has a big week this week. I think that's about all he's got going for him. I mean, this is a bad team. This is a team that's going to be. I have him. We'll get the Pancake King or Tomato King in a second here, but like he's around. He's in danger zone. And if he loses this week, he's in super danger zone. But yeah, give me Jack with the win here. Very ugly game. Like I'm talking like Yaglu's score from last week, like 107, 102 kind of territory. So yeah, give me Jack 107 to 100 in this game. ZT.
You said you and ZT. I mean, you mean Yag.
Yeah. Too many Z's.
Oh man, yeah, this is rough for him. I think he could get a win with Golden because Josh Downs is probably going to play. But I definitely think Jaden Higgins outscored Pollard, as wild as that sounds. And I think that Bill is going to I think Bill can cash in on that 10 projection because Washington gets the receivers back probably, and then they get Sam Cosmi back at right guard probably. So that opens up the right side. I think that wow. Yeah, that projection might actually hold. In fact, I think little Jacob maybe if everything goes right for him, he can maybe contend for high score.
What?
He could. Dude,
are you
This week?
Yeah, he could.
Dude, what are you talking about, man? We looked at literally every matchup today, and I think every other team has a better
CMC is not going to score less than 25.
Okay.
Right. Hurts probably isn't going to score less than 25. Right?
That's debatable, but okay.
I mean, I don't think has he scored less than 20 all year?
Okay, yeah, that's a 50 right there.
CMC has only scored over 25 once, and it was last week.
And he's playing against a really good defense too.
But CMC also hasn't scored less than 20.
Jalen Hurts has done twice over 25.
Okay.
And
fair.
then,
we'll give you those.
You
two.
like stats on the show, ZT, despite the slander we get.
And then A-Chain could have a big game. They're inside, like you said.
What
That's
about
true.
Higgins, Ja'Cory Crosby-Merritt, Alec Pierce?
He has bad matchups outside of those three, man.
He does, but again, Washington gets their players back, which would bode well for the running game. And Higgins, someone's got to catch passes for the Texans. So I don't know.
Well,
I think
Higgins
is a solid player.
Dalton
There is
Schultz.
one guy, and that's the guy who ZB has, is Dalton Schultz.
He'll certainly catch the underneath stuff, but I don't know. I mean, we saw Jalen Noel make a couple big plays.
It's a reach of a hot take for this one. The high score of the week. I mean, dude. You gave me a 105 or 100, whatever the hell it was, and my team's gonna outscore Jack's team this week.
that is also a hot take.
I don't think it is. I think this is one of the worst scoring lineups I've seen this year for Jack.
I don't know, man.
Okay.
I think a good challenge for it. I think Lil J wins. Let's give him 135 to
Wow.
102.
Damn, man.
102. I'll give you more points than ZB this week, even though you disrespected him in the chat.
Wow. Man, ZT's got some real hot takes, man. All right. So we got our last matchup of the week is a very interesting matchup because this could really be a wrong way for our guy Tasia here if Tasia loses this game. I mean, he's another guy in that danger zone territory right now. And even with the dropping of Aaron Rodgers and he picked him up, he texted me. He still thinks he's going to go Carson Wentz, but he said he's got to do some more research before the game tonight. So he's probably going to lean Carson Wentz as of right now. Yikes. So let's just say that. I will say Carson Wentz, I mean, as much as he hasn't looked good, I mean, he's thrown like for over 300 yards multiple times already this season, which is kind of nuts because, I mean, Mahomes hasn't thrown for over 300 yards in like 2 years. So, like, the fact that he's already done that in this game is kind of this year twice already is nuts. And the Chargers defense, as we saw last week, I mean, they were rough. I mean, they had some of the worst defensive performance I've seen last week. I mean, Colts just up and down the field on them all day long. And then the week before, Tua, we talked Tua. Tua was having his way against them too. So it's a bad defense. So Carson Wentz could have a big game against them. Bo Nix is also on the weird territory, going against a really bad defense in Dallas. But even against bad defenses, this is a good stat because he's going back to the Jets, right? Jets are horrible defense this year. But going to this game last weekend for the Broncos, going into that fourth quarter, which was a historic fourth quarter for the Broncos, of the last 15 possessions, they either had a safety or punted or turnover on downs of the last 14 of the last 15 possessions going into that fourth quarter on Sunday. So they're not a good offense. And it's against a Dallas defense, which it looks awful this year. But it's honestly, I think this is a put up or shut up game for Bo Nix because if he doesn't look good against this defense, there's real concerns over that Denver defense. So I'm gonna go Bo Nix just because it's a bad defense, but I would not be surprised if Carson Wentz outduels Bo Nix. So I think it's gonna be close. Keenan Allen, Courtland Sutton. I'll go Courtland Sutton. I love this. It's the offsetting of Bo Nix here. I love that. Courtland Sutton against Dallas's horrible secondary. Breece Hall, DeAndre Swift. Ooh, the battle of Tages boys. Oh, give me DeAndre Swift in this one. Over Breece Hall. I don't trust Breece Hall at all. George Kittle, Dalton Kincaid. Oh, I'll go George Kittle. They were having a hard time. Actually, no, man. Fuck. I'll go Dalton Kincaid against Carolina. Yeah, we'll do that. That's close, though. Kamani Vidal, who looked like dog shit last week, versus Olave. Olave, man, target hog. Give me Chris Olave, man. Chris Olave doing awesome. I think ZT's regretting that one. Jordan Mason, Rashee Rice. No doubt about it. First game back last week, 2 tutties and 10 targets. Troy Franklin, Isaiah Pacheco. I don't buy Troy Franklin. Isaiah Pacheco's key because Kareem Hunt did not practice today. So you might see more volume for Isaiah Pacheco this week against the Commanders. I mean, I don't think it'll be by that much. I think he'll have like a 7 versus a 5. So, you can't trust Troy Franklin. He's the wide receiver 5 on that team. So I'll go Isaiah Pacheco over Troy Franklin. I think outside of one, I think Tasia wins this one. Tasia stays out of the danger zone big time. So yeah, give me Tasia over Stu this week. And Stu, my guy, it's rough sledding for him, man. I really feel for the reigning champion.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have Tasia in this matchup as well. I think there's just too many holes towards the end of his lineup for Stu, but I will say, if teams around Stu, this is a big if. If teams around Stu continue to lose, if Bo Nix can be a solid starter, like starting quarterback, because I don't think, Stu doesn't have another option at quarterback. His starting lineup in at least like 2 weeks will look not bad. Bo Nix, okay. Wide receiver Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall up in the air. George Kittle, I think is going to be good. He has Terry McLaurin. Jordan Mason, I think is going to be a solid like back flex guy. And then like Jacoby Myers finally plays, gets traded somewhere. That'd be good. Like it's not a great lineup, but it's not a lineup that's going to be like a gimme, like he's losing every single week kind of thing. But I'm just trying to let Stu be a little positive. I think his lineup is pretty messy this week, which is why I got Tasia. But I was just looking through and I was like, oh, there's still some good names on Stu's roster. So, but how long they're still on this roster in like a week or two, we'll find out.
Be kind of key if Stu picks up Justin Fields whenever Tasia does waive Justin Fields at the triple stack. The Breece Hall.
He's already on the waivers.
Oh, Fields been cut?
I think so. Yeah,
wow.
He's on the waivers right now.
Stu's got opportunity on the triple stack. Wilson, Justin Fields, and Breece Hall. That could be kind of key.
Rushing upside. Come on.
Hey, man. We used to be a Jets fan. DT, what do you got, buddy?
Woo! You know what? Let's go Stu. We're taking Stu this week.
That's it. Just
Any logic behind that? Or
He's gonna love that.
Let's get well, I mean, okay.
You feel bad for him, and that's okay.
This is a pretty ugly matchup, but I mean, Bo Nix did put up like a bajillion points last week, and he plays a worse defense this week. So let's just say Bo Nix, for sake of argument, scores 38, right? And
oh my god, 38! Oh my god,
he scored 43 last week. So 10 points. Let's say 10 points. 10 points go to Sutton, and 12 points go to Troy Franklin.
Dude, he had like a 6 going into the fourth quarter last week, and then the week prior when he played the Jets, a horrible defense, I think he had like a 9 or a 10 that game. I mean, he's not a good quarterback.
Sure, but
you can't give him
43.
That's one thing.
He still scored 43. I mean, I don't know, man. Tasia, I think
the Carson Wentz start is a little
sus,
scary. Like that is like if Stu can get a gap there, like that's gonna make this matchup interesting. But we'll see what his ultimate decision is for Thursday.
Also, Brees gets Cincinnati. Yeah, I understand the Jets are the Jets, but Brees gets Cincinnati. You know, we've talked about it's the Cincinnati defense.
On to Cincinnati.
They could probably make Garrett Nussmeier.
Swift gets Baltimore, though.
Yeah, Swift does get Baltimore, but Monungai's there now.
Should Stu start Terry McLaurin over Troy Franklin?
Yeah, I would
probably.
start.
That's weird that he's going with that. I think he's going for the stack against the Dallas. I think that's what he's going for.
Yeah, I mean, I guess last week, 10 targets and only 3 receptions for Franklin. Yeesh.
Yeah.
It is kind of key. I will say, I may or may not have picked Stu slightly to get some responses from Tasia.
Wow. Well, you definitely will. You're definitely gonna hit a nerve there. All right, so there we go. We got it in the books. Our picks are in the books for this week. Now we're gonna go to everyone's favorite segment, and it's the Red Tomato Club time. ZT, you're gonna stick around for the Red Tomato Club?
Oh yeah, it's the best part.
It is the best part.
Get your rankings ready.
Get your rankings ready. Get your 7 and 12 ready. All right, we're gonna head into our Red Tomato Club.
I'm gonna keep on winning, so I won't be in the Tomato Club. Don't wanna wear that crown and get pelted with that farmer's love. Back to back like Cobb. Oh no, back to back like Cobb. Oh no, now that just ain't my fate. I'm gonna keep on winning, so I won't be in the Tomato Club. I'll dodge those red tomatoes if I just keep my place. When the final week comes and the shame bells ring, back to back like Cobb. Oh no, back to back like Cobb. Oh no, now that just ain't my fate. I'm gonna keep on winning, so I won't be in the Tomato Club. Tomato Club.
All right, and we're back. We didn't get to hear that last week. We had a fast show, so it was nice to see that song again. Probably one of the most catchy songs we've ever had on this show before.
True.
It's true. So all right, so we begin with the Tomato King, the 7th spot. So we'll go from me to ZT to Cobb, just how the video shows. I have Adam at my 7th spot. It's a team that's like on the brink right now. I have to give him credit because he's on the brink right now. But I think this is a team that we're gonna be looking at in a couple of weeks, being like, damn, you had him at 7. Jeez, this is a bad team. I mean, we had the double tight end set, and like that's key. But like outside of the double tight end set, like I mean, Kelsey's gonna start to as far as he's gonna get less targets with Rashee Rice being back. Two guys do the same exact thing for our offense. So that double tight ends is going to start to bite him in the ass, and it hasn't been biting him at all. Ferguson's been great, so luckily he got that. But I mean, Jetty's been horrible. Cobb mentioned RJ Harvey's been a bust. AJ Brown, we don't know. The guy's going AWOL right now. We don't know what the hell's going on with that situation. Chase Brown's been horrible. And I don't see that situation getting any better. Juwan Jennings, I mean, bad. There's not a lot to love in Adams' team right now, outside of Dak and Jake Ferguson. I mean, London's been key. So outside of those three, great. But, like, it's not a top-to-bottom great roster. A lot of misses. And it's not his fault, but it also is his fault because he drafted. Maybe if you went to the draft, if you're a live drafter, maybe, better things could have happened for you. But, yeah, I think he's my 7th spot right now. I could honestly make an argument that he should be lower than this, but he's 7. ZT, who's your 7th spot?
I think 7th spot's Tasia right now. I think he's the best of this group, even though I think he loses this week. Yeah, my 7th spot's Tasia right now. I mean, he's got top-end talent, and Rashee Rice being back is there, which is great for him. Olave gives him a nice floor. I wouldn't mind having – you're right. I wouldn't mind having that trade back now. And he's got some nice pieces on his bench too. I think he is the 7th. Even at 3 and 5, he's got a pretty good shot to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I have Tasia here as well. I think he has a solid starting roster. He has some key pieces on bye. I'm kind of looking. I think the bye week and his QB situation this week coming at a good time because he is playing Stu. I'm not really seeing like a huge ceiling for him, which is why I'm keeping him at 7. I think he could make a push for the playoffs, but I think he's still like a piece or two away. And I've also seen a few things about like Olave could be shopped around. So that could be interesting to see if he gets moved because he's one of the more valuable guys, I'd say, on Tasia's team. But yeah, no, I like the pieces. I'm still waiting to see the full ceiling, but I'll have him at 7 for now.
Very interesting. You guys going Tasia? Okay, interesting. My 8th spot might surprise you guys. It might shock you guys. There's something called championship pedigree that only championships know about. And regardless of the losses, regardless of the injuries, regardless of guys just don't pan out, teams know how to win. And that came through pretty clearly Monday night when it looked like it was over for this guy. And then he has 2 IDPs who go nuts, score 24 points off sheer tackles, 10 tackles for both of these guys. And then his kicker comes in the late window and puts one through. And this is a team that, without one of their keepers, already traded one of their keepers, and one of the keepers has been out for the last 3 weeks, will be out for 5 weeks because he'll have a bye week this coming week, next week. If he gets 2 wins, and then when that guy comes back from the bye, we're talking about a team that's you don't want in the playoffs, right? I think Jaylen Brown said it best a couple of years ago. You don't let us get 1. Don't let him get 2. Because once this guy gets on a streak, it's over. Well, I don't know if it's over, but he'll be out of the Tomato King stuff and potentially in the playoffs. And right now, he's tied with the same record with the team that's in the playoffs right now. And also, too, the last time this quarterback won an MVP, this guy's quarterback, this team lost in the championship. And we're trending on MVP territory for his quarterback. And that's myself, as me at the 8th spot right now.
Oh, Jesus.
Love it.
This guy.
Only some of us on the show know about championship pedigree. Only 2 of us do that.
True. We've been saying it all season.
Yeah, I knew that was coming at some point. Let's get back to reality here. The 8th spot is Stu. Stu is a notch behind Tasia, even though he wins this week. He's a notch behind Tasia, but at the very least, Stu.
Your fucking rankings are so bad, dude. I hope you lose so badly.
Let's get back to reality.
Stu has. One thing Stu has shown this season is a real. He always comes in with a strategy. You know what I mean? Like last year, he said, I'm gonna win it all. This is my time to win it all, and he did. And this year, he's like, you know what? I sold some assets away. I don't have as much to work with in the draft, and I think he's managed his team accordingly. He's sniped a couple guys off of waivers that I really wanted. I talked to him about that. But this team isn't strong. I don't think it's going to compete for a playoff spot this year, but you don't know. I mean, Breece Hall might get traded. He's a very talented player. George Kittle is back, which is helpful to him. Terry McLaurin is back, which is helpful to him. Theo Johnson looked like a beast last week. I mean, he might be one of those tight ends that rises. Stu's in the 8th spot. And he has, outside of him and Tasia, I think are the only 2 teams with a realistic shot at the playoffs. They're in the Tomato Club rankings. But I think Stu's getting a little disrespected here, and I just want to set the record straight. Reigning champ, you can't have a reigning champ down in Tomato King, man. Come on. Talk about championship pedigree.
I mean, I think you're looking at the example of championship turned Tomato King right here. 3 straight championships and then 2 straight Tomato Kings, buddy.
Pancake.
Okay. I guess I'll be the one that takes us a little back on course here. I respect it. I like the bold takes. We love bold takes on the show. I'm gonna try and be a little more accurate here. I'm gonna go Adam at my 8th spot. I think similar to Tasia, like we, Dash was just going off of some of the issues. Like there's kind of a downward trend for Adam's team. I like Kelsey, the double tight end stack for him, I think is kind of dying out. Ferguson's great, but Kelsey, I don't know how much you'll be able to start him going forward. If AJ Brown's hurt, like his depth, Tasia has the depth that Adam does not. I like the options that Tasia has over Adam. Like I just, Genty is your running back with Chase Brown. Like Chase Brown needs to get those checkdowns, and those have been 2 just very unfortunate running back busts on top of RJ Harvey. So I like Adam's starters for the most part, but if Drake London comes down to earth, there's just not a ceiling there for me. And I think Adam's in a little bit of trouble going forward. So I'm gonna have him at 8.
Yeah, so my 9th spot is a guy who we just talked about, right? He's got a lot of boom potential on his team, but he's made some questionable moves this year. Getting off Derrick Henry, bringing in Kenneth Walker, and bringing in Breece Hall, and then trading Breece Hall for DeAndre Swift. And then when I talked to him the other day, he said he's worried about DeAndre Swift because DeAndre Swift was with that Kyle Manogue guy had 45% of the snap share. And I was like, well, why did you trade for DeAndre Swift then if you feel uncomfortable about that? He goes, I just like that offensive line. I feel like he's the Montgomery, the Swift or the not the Swift over there, but he's the Gibbs / Montgomery over there in Chicago. I'm like, okay. I mean, he doesn't have a top. He doesn't have a top 5 tight end. He's got a bot. He doesn't have a quarterback. I told him going into the season, you're not going to do anything with Fields. I warned him. I really did. I tried to warn him, and he didn't listen. And the Olave trade saved him, and the fact that Olave is getting the peppered with targets is great for him. Sutton's been great, and I'll say this: Olave's a guy who's been rumored to be traded. Denver's also looking to receivers. Rashee Rice coming back is going to save him, but then Pacheco's getting a max of 8 carries ain't going to do nothing for you, and you don't get any catches. It's just not. It's a team that's it's okay. It's good enough not to be in the Tomato King watch, but it's not a good team to get. There's not a lot of home run. That's the thing. We like championship pedigree, but we also like home run hitters on your team. And when you don't have championship pedigree and you don't have any home run hitters, that's what's scary. And that's very scary looking at his team because there's not a lot of home run hitters on this team, unfortunately. Because if you kept Derrick Henry, that's a home run hitter, but he doesn't have anything right now on this team. And Kenneth Walker is in a horrible timeshare with Zach Charbonnet. I mean, there's a lot of problems with this team. Rashee Rice is the only redeeming quality about his team. Everything else is just you can just kind of throw it away. Trey McBride's key too, and I don't think he has him this week. But yeah, Trey McBride and Rashee Rice are your top 2 guys. There's not a lot of it. There's no it factor. So there you go. Tasia 9. CT.
Yeah, this 9th spot is reserved for Adam. He not a solid team. It's not a deep team. And, as we get deeper in the season, you need that depth because players get hurt. But, there are home run hitters on this team. Assuming that the post-Browning bump for the Bengals is real and, A.J. Brown never stops talking on social media, that Cowboy stack is nice. Okay, and you got to think that he gets something more from Drake London. It's over the course. I feel like you got to hope if you're Adam that the floor, what Drake London's giving you is the floor. So I think that's just based on some of the players that he has, I think that he's at 9th here. But man, the depth on this team is just not good. It's just not good. I mean, I don't think there's a single starter outside of maybe Ginty. There's not a startable player on his bench, and honestly, he's got some guys starting this week that probably aren't startable players. So, the bench is just really rough here. So, Adam sits at 9th. He took some heat. People saying he's not engaged enough. I want to see the guy win, but I don't think it's happening.
Yeah, I was gonna make a comment about Adam having the most budget and least moves made in the league, but that belongs to my 10 spot. My opponent for the week, Mr. Michael Yaglu, still has all of his fab, has only made 4 moves the entire season. Yeah, I don't like being in this spot because I do think Yags has good pieces. I think it's more circumstantial because he's 2 and 4, and the tie will basically count at 2 and 5. And I don't like giving Bulletin Board material. This is more of a where he is in the standings placement as opposed to what I really think of his team. Yeah, I mean he's big on the stack. He kept Jordan Love. Jordan Love's only had one good, really good game, and he had a 24-25 against Washington, but the rest have all been in the teens, and that's not what you want from a quarterback that you kept. He's got Matthew Stafford on the bench that I would assume he starts rolling out a little more when he's back from bye. Like Justin Jefferson, it's with Wentz gone. How is he going to look with McCarthy? Is McCarthy going to be the guy the rest of the season? I think that's what the Vikings want. And when McCarthy was the quarterback, you didn't really like playing Justin Jefferson. Jacobs is great. Laporta has been startable some weeks, but then he got a 4 last week. Metcalf. He has Metcalf, Shaheed, Pittman, Montgomery, Godwin when he comes back, Pearsall when he's healthy. He has decent names to fill the back flex. I just think there's just being basically 2 and 5, tied with Tomato King, and I don't really see a huge ceiling here right now, unless Jordan Love turns it on like people expected him to. I'm gonna have him at 10. And again, hate doing this because we are playing this week, and he has been kind of shooting himself in the foot with his guaranteed wins that turn into losses. And again, last year, in case you guys haven't heard my 10 other reminders where he was dancing into the playoffs and then missed it. After week 5, I think he was undefeated. He went 4-0, something like that, and then missed the playoffs completely. So yeah, just don't count your eggs before they hatch, or whatever the saying is. Don't count your chickens before they hatch, something like that.
Don't count.
That.
Is that what it is?
Is that it is? Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Yeah. Don't count your chicken. Don't count your eggs. Doesn't make sense before they hatch because you gotta don't count.
There is an egg.
Yeah, there we go.
That's okay. We got that down. So my 10 is Yags. Just looking at his team, he has 3.
This is 11.
This is
10. Oh, Yags is my 9. My bad. I said 10.
Okay. Yags by 10. A lot of the reasons you said. He has 3 games this year of scoring below 113 and below. He's trying out starting lineups just because he likes having the stack in there, even though it's just look at the matchup. It's a bad reason. When I heard that, I was kind of distraught. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of distraught when I heard him say that. I was like, okay, well, I'm glad I won this matchup, but Jesus Christ, that was your rationale behind that. I mean, man. Yeah, he's got Love, and I think that's great and all. He's already talked about keeping him. He's a big Love guy. I don't know where the love comes from, but like he's gonna keep him again next year. He's already talking about it, and it's insane. Jefferson's been great. It really sucks they didn't get him a proper quarterback situation this year because it's like a waste of like having a guy like that when you don't have a proper quarterback. So it's not Yags' fault. Jacobs has been great for him. He almost struck a deal before the trade deadline a couple weeks ago with the draft picks. They didn't come through in the end. DK Metcalf's been a huge disappointment. Shaheed's been solid. I mean, he's just a solid guy because he does, a little bit of everything with the returns as well. Pittman's been great for him. That was a great steal, but like it's a very mid team. And when you're talking about mid teams, this is what you'd look at, right? You'd look at a team like this. Say, it's not a lot of not bads in the squad. Pearsall was a horrible keep. I told him at the time. He's been injured with injury. DJ Moore was a horrible draft pick. No one saw that coming. A lot of people thought it was either going to be Rome or DJ Moore in the Amon-Ra St. Brown, and it ended up being Rome. Godwin, even when he came back from the injury, he was never healthy. So just a lot of bad luck. David Montgomery's role has reduced. It used to be a true 1A, 1B, and it's now still 1, and David Montgomery will spell gives for a drive here and there. So, yeah, man. I mean, honestly, there was a lot of bad luck with the drafting because just guys' roles were reduced, and it's not. Yeah, I can't really foresee that. But he can't control who he's starting as his quarterback. And when you're saying you just want to start Love because you like the stack, when it's not actually a stack, it's just a quarterback and a running back. That's where I'm like, you know what? I'm out on that. So Yags at 10 spot, and also you lost to me with a 107 last week. I mean, come on, that's just like that. That's a sheer sign of just like total regression. CT.
Yeah. But 10 spot for me is ZB. 10 spot for me is ZB. I don't think there's a whole lot separating the bottom 3 teams in my rankings, but I think that, I think Jackson Dart actually gives him a good floor. I know I understand like the concerns about him being, the guy. He will have bad games. He'll probably have some games with like a 5, but there's a lot that he can do in the field. And I think that gives him, he's got a rushing upside. He can flick the ball down the field really well. I mean, I think that gives him a solid floor every week. And then, who knows how long Puka's going to be out. And then Puka does come back, he'll probably get re-injured because he's always injured. So having Devontae Adams there, as long as Stafford's back holds up, because, Stafford's getting up there, Devontae Adams is a really nice piece for ZB. And then JSN he's a stud, and there's no one else there. And then what you said about Kamara with no Kendre, that's a big deal. But the rest of this team, man, it's rough. I mean, James Cook is really good. I think he bounces back strong, maybe starting this week because it's rainy. But, good Lord. We got Golden, Kendrick Bourne, and Tony Pollard in the starting lineup. Oof. So, obviously, when he gets those guys back from bye, it could be solid. But, man, Travion was a bust. Keon Coleman had a strong week 1, and he's disappeared. Kyler Murray apparently can't read a playbook. David Njoku is we don't know about him. Fannin might be the guy now. It might be time. It's like Ollie Gordon is still on his roster. Like yeah. Outside of the top guys, it's a really we talk about Adam having no depth. ZB's team has like negative depth. So that is where that's where the problem comes in. I don't like you disrespecting ZB though. Guy went to the championship last year. Put some respect on his name. But he's the 10th.
I think saying someone has negative depth and then following it up with "don't disrespect CB" was a choice. I love it. That's the consistency we look for in the Cobb and Dash show. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like we're all going to have the same group in the bottom, but not the same order, and clearly not the same Tomato King with CT's 8th spot. My 10th spot is, if we were just going off of lineups for this week, it would be lower. But with who he has on bye, and again, I kind of take the holistic view for Tomato King, I'm going to give it to ZB as well. I think he's staying here assuming Dart can be startable. If Dart is not startable, that's going to be a huge issue. I think like JSN, incredible. Devontae Adams has been awesome. Travion Henderson, man, I'm just not seeing a clear path for until maybe like the last like 5 weeks of the season is maybe he becomes a little startable. I think McDaniel said something about how like his minimal involvement last week was just circumstantial, but like if you're that easy to cut out of the game plan, then you're probably not close to having a role. I do think Golden turns it on at some point. But yeah, I mean, like kind of similar to what ZT said, there's just not a lot of depth. Like an injury to this team. I guess you'll have Trey Benson, but like, is that going to be that valuable? An injury to this team is going to be catastrophic for ZB. I think there's still some hope that like just he can fall on the shoulders of JSN and Devonta and James Cook. Those are big time like ceiling guys. But until we see it, I'm gonna have him at 10, and I think it's a guy that's been on a 4-game skid, so just kind of following that trend. Yeah, we know he has it in him. Championship last year, but right now it's not looking great.
So I have ZB as my 11th spot here. ZB, you talk about a 4-game skid, right? But really, you can even make an argument that he should be. The last 5 he should have lost, because you go back 5 games. His last win that he won 105-99 against UCobb. I believe that was against you.
I think I beat him.
Okay, no, yeah. That game, okay, that was against Adam. He won 105-99. That was his last win. So last 5 games, he hasn't scored above 118. This is a team that's trending in not a good direction at all. And yeah, we're going with Jackson Dara. It's really fun. The frat boy quarterback. It's cool. But like, we don't know what this guy could be. I think you said earlier, you're not buying it yet because you want to see a little bit more of a sample size. Because right now it's just like, just going off vibes, and that's kind of what it is with him. But like Matthew Golden, and I think he kind of waved the white flag this week when he traded Zay for Matthew Golden. Because it's like, oh, maybe this guy pans out second half of the season, could be a keeper going forward. Kendrick Bourne, I think last week he came back to reality. Kamara stepping into that role again with Kendrick Miller being gone. That could be something. Tony Pollard, that's a disaster of a team. Like anything touching that Tennessee team is a disaster. JSN, and like you talk about the whole picture, right? He's got JSN, he's got Devontae Adams. That's great. But he really missed on the tight end thing. Schultz has been okay, but he drafted Njoku early. He missed on that. He missed on Travion Henderson, the 2nd-round pick. If he hit on that pick, could be a different conversation about his team right now, but that was just a complete miss. And no one saw that coming, that Travion Henderson was going to be that bad. Or it's not given enough touches. But yeah, I have ZB here, man. It's not looking pretty, and he's going to drop go 5 in a row come this weekend. So it's a very sad situation for the guy coming off a year. It's really sad, The teams that are going to play in the championship for me are my bottom 2 teams. The teams from last year's championship game are our bottom 2 teams right now. That's pretty sad. I thought ZB had a longer leash because he didn't make any wild trades last year to get to this point. Stu did, so that makes sense. But ZB, I mean, just poor drafting, I guess. I don't know. ZT?
Yeah, man. Wow. Yeah, I mean, grappling between these last 2 teams, man, it was tough. But I think Yags is my 11th. It was a really tough call, but having heard about the stackers thing here, like having had that cleared up, yeah, that's pretty bad. It's really bad. You can't have a stack with a running back. Although you can't really stack anybody with the Packers because who knows who loves going to throw the ball to. But sure, Justin Jefferson's nice. If their quarterback can get him the ball, I mean, yeah, Pittman, like you said, was a steal. Cool. Rashid Shaheed, I'm not even that high on him, to be honest. Maybe if Olave gets traded, that's a big deal for him. Got to think DK picks it up a little bit from where he is now once he gets settled in with Rodgers, fully, mid-season. He has a little bit of an easier schedule down the stretch too. And the only reason I'm putting Yags in the 11th spot is because of his bench. Choosing between Stafford and Love each week is kind of nice, especially when Puka plays. And, Demont, he's had a rough couple weeks, but still a pretty decent guy on the bench. But Wow, man, this is it's getting bad now. Yeah, Yags is 11th, and maybe the Berry stackers actually was a better group of stacks than this particular Packer stack. This is rough, man. It's not good.
I mean, that was prime Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, right? So that was
It was. Yeah,
it's a pretty good stack.
it's a pretty good stack.
No, yeah. When you first listed the Ags at 11, you had a confused look out of me, but I think I know where you're going. My 11th spot is unfortunately my co-host here. I love the championship pedigree. I love just the grittiness, pulling out that win against Yags. But I think you used the Jaylen Brown quote, that "Don't let us get one," and we ended up losing that series. I'm pretty sure. So, I think it was a great quote, but if you look at it from a larger picture, it ended up blowing up in his face. No, I mean, like you said, like a gritty team. You got 3 wins. You're a game above Stu and Yags right now. Huge win last week. We'd be obviously completely different rankings if it went differently. Well, maybe not completely differently, but Mahomes, great. Obviously, QB1, really bringing your team together. I think that's something that we're kind of seeing glimpses of your old squads. I think it's just question marks around the depth. Maybe Fannin turns into a good starter going forward. Christian Watson, you just picked him up. Like if Christian Watson comes back and starts kind of doing his thing, everyone was hyping up coming into last season, and Bucky Irving comes back in 2 weeks, and you're still like a game ahead, or at least a game ahead. You would hope you're more than a game ahead. I think your starting lineup's going to be solid. Like it's going to compete. I mean, Mahomes is going to be an advantage against virtually everybody, and that's huge in a league that has 6-point passing touchdowns. So if Ramondre remains the guy, Wanderlei stays the number 1 for Dart. Waddle is like healthy, keeps the targets. Tess Johnson stay like you'll have a good lineup. I think it's just like right now, just where things stay and like the depth until Bucky's back from IR. And we see what Christian Watson does. I'm going to keep you at 11.
That's fair. That's very fair. I definitely think I know where we're going with some of these guys. Or I know where ZT's going with his one. I'm not surprised. I thought he was going to be normal with us, but he wasn't. I should have put him in my bottom 6. So my tomato king is Stu. He kept a quarterback who's just rough. I mean, outside of if you look at his game logs of what he does and when he does them, it's either in a first quarter of games or in the fourth quarter of games. He's awful for at least half of every game he plays in. He's not. Bo Nix is not a good quarterback, and I think Stu's regretting keeping him. He made the trade for Breece Hall this week. He's got Kamani Vidal in there, who looked pretty rough last week against the Colts. Jordan Mason's now becoming a 1A, 1B situation now that Aaron Jones is back this week. I mean, just Jacoby Myers is falling off the grid. Garrett Wilson's got no quarterback. It's just not a good team. Terry McLaurin, he hasn't been healthy since the whole contract dispute this offseason, and now he won't have Jaden Daniels this week and Marcus Mariota. There's a question mark there. Top to bottom, not a good team. At all. I don't know. Looking at this team right now, I don't know who his keepers are going to be for next year, and that's scary because usually when a team like kind of goes all in on a it seems like he's gone all in on a pretty much overhaul because his team's rough with like rid of old guys and just like a bunch of like guys who next year will just be handcuffs. I mean, for the most part, Wilson is a keeper. I don't think Breece Hall's a keeper. Obviously, depending on where he goes, was he a 2nd or 3rd round pickup?
He was 3rd.
Oh, it's not bad. Okay, and I think Breece Hall will go elsewhere next year as a free agent. So, Breece Hall 3rd, not bad. And then Wilson, keeper. I don't know who the quarterback's going to be next year. I don't like his future prospects mixed in with the team that he has right now. And that's usually awful because we could say usually about a team that's at last place. It's like, okay, they're bad this year, but man, wait till next year. They're going to have a crop of guys. He doesn't have that. And and he doesn't really have the draft capital either, right? You got the first round pick from Hotch next year, so you got an extra first, so that helps. But yeah, I do not like this, and I don't get how you had him as an 8 seed. It's like a total kissing ass there. But nonetheless, Stu is my Tomato King, and yeah, I'd be very surprised if he wasn't Tomato King, and I'm being dead serious.
I mean, it's reasonable, but I think that there's their championship pedigree is great and all that, but sometimes you gotta just be real. You gotta just be real. Patrick Mahomes, it's great to see him back. But the rest of this roster, it might be one of the worst we've seen assembled in the basement league. Now, what I will say about our Tomato King, or my current Tomato King is this guy has been very active. Okay, he's been very active. He's been more. Usually when someone's in the last, they're a little bit more disillusioned. This guy's been active. Okay, like he's taken dart throws on decent prospects. You know what I mean? He's taken some good insider information on the Cobb and Dash show and making quick pickups. He's active, but we're looking at Ramondre Stevenson, who hasn't left his RB1 spot. We're looking at, we got
that's actually not true. That's actually not true. I have not started multiple weeks this year, so that's actually not true.
You've platooned him with Kenneth Gainwell and Kareem Hunt.
Yes.
It's oh man. I think you knew this was coming when I came on the show, but this our Tomato King this year is going to be Dash, Marcus Dash, and he it's gonna be satisfying. It's gonna be satisfying getting this guy with tomatoes next year's draft. That's about it. That's about all I got.
All right. Yeah, I didn't know if we wanted a rebuttal there. I guess I'll give mine, and then we can.
I will dominate him this weekend when he loses this weekend. So it's okay. I'll let him get his airtime.
No, I love it. This is why we wanted you on the show. I mean, I think it's been pretty cordial between the two of you. Dash did pick you to win this week. You picked him Tomato King. Some can say that that wasn't as balanced, but this is your first time on the Cobb and Dash show, so you had to get the shots in. I think I'm keeping Stu here at my Tomato King, and I don't know if we picked this up on prior shows or not, but in our intro song, when we're talking about Stu, one of the lines is don't let your guard down. Tomato King's at the door. And it's kind of crazy that that is now coming to fruition. It was just a funny little song that we might have to revisit as being just a good predictor of how the season's going to go. Unfortunately, Stu is currently in last place. I'm going to keep him at last place. I did give him some hope, or at least hopefully gave him some hope. I think there are some good names still on this team. I think it's still 2 weeks away, which is the issue of being like, okay, like he has a decent roster, like he could, surprise some lesser teams, which is true. And again, if people around him lose, maybe Stu can get out of here. But the thing with Stu is I think he's still in selling mode, and I'm not going to name names, but I think there are teams out there that can look at Stu's team. He has guys that have really no worth to Stu if Stu's trying to tank, that he could ship off, and maybe get some potential keepers. Dash just talked about how there's not a lot of great keeper potential other than one or two people on Stu's side. I think that's something that is going to keep Stu in 12th. I think he's just going to accept the fate of being Tomato King, and I think there's a handful of players that I think other teams could be interested in for a last flex, that they could, hey, here's a potential keeper, last back half of the season, Stu'd probably accept it. I'm not going to name names or teams. I think I could coordinate trades between a couple teams if I wanted to, but I'm not
A
going.
little referral bonus for Cobb. A little referral.
Yeah, I mean, I can make, I like looking at other teams and to be like, this got to be a good trade partner for this guy. I wish, that was a good position. But I'm in the playoff hunt at the moment, and I don't want to give any tips here. And we don't like tipping off other owners. It makes it seem like we're playing favorites, and we don't do that. We go right by the stats and facts here. So yeah, keeping Sue 12. Again, I don't think he's going to keep some of these players on his team for much longer. I think he's going to be kind of active towards the trade deadline. So I'm excited to see who goes in, snatches him up.
So for our viewing audience, that's our Tomato King rankings for week 8.
Yeah, is this the first time this is the first time in a while we've had a third host, but that we've had the same crew in the bottom 6?
Oh wow, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it has to be this. Yeah, because we usually have like one team that's like in the hunt. That's like that that makes the list.
I love how the 8th spot was the bold prediction for both of you.
Yeah.
I'll call yours bold. It's fair.
Mine's based on vibes, just the current
Yeah.
way, the way things are going. Like I didn't have the balls to put Alex or ZT in the bottom 6, so I was, what, and I feel like ZT's gonna go for me, so I was like, what, my team's key right now. Let's put us at 8.
Yep.
So I overcompensated for the potential of ZT doing what he did. So
I was thinking about it though. I really was. Between you and Yags and ZB, that was tough.
no, you take the bait. You had to take the bait. But all right, guys. Well, that does it for us on our week 8 preview show. We hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We will see you guys. We'll see you guys in the group chat, and we'll be talking in a couple hours during this game. Some overreactions for a lot of Thursday night matchups to this week. A lot of teams have a lot of guys in this game tonight, so it's gonna be a very action-packed Thursday night. We have no ball tonight, so yeah. Why weren't you gonna go to ball? It seems like you have a really easy schedule today, ZT. You just weren't gonna go for shits and gigs.
I walked to the gym. I got no car.
You walked to the gym?
Oh, that's what this was.
No, not one life. The other one by my house.
Oh, in Alexandria?
Yeah.
I was to say if you were down the street, I could take you to ball tonight, but we don't have enough numbers anyway. So
It's true. Unless we had
Did you walk from the gym on this show, or did you walk to it?
I walked to it. I've been sitting outside for the past 20 minutes.
Damn.
past 20 minutes. We've been on the show for 2 hours, buddy.
I know. I was outside the other shopping center for the past hour.
Oh my god. Do you have any battery left on your phone?
40%. I made sure the thing was charged.
Well, we appreciate you coming on today, man.
man.
I'm sure
This was
Alex will enjoy the match of the week preview and everything. So yeah, we'll see you guys next week for the Cobb and Dash show. And we'll talk to you guys in the group message tonight.
Yeah.
Take it easy, everybody. Oh, you left.